Good afternoon. Welcome to the Oswestry campus virtual open event. In this session, we're going to be looking at the Access to Higher Education diploma, the Art and Design and Creative Level 3 courses, and the various A-levels you can also study at North Shropshire College. We've got some videos to play through for you, which will from the tutors just to explain each of the courses and what's involved, and then they're on hand to answer any questions that you may have following on from that. So sit back, enjoy the videos, and start thinking of your questions.
Hello, my name is Carl Morris and I'm Head of North Shropshire College. I would like to welcome you to our Oswestry campus virtual open event. I thought I would start by explaining why you should consider Oswestry for your post-16 education. We offer a wide range of general and career-specific courses ranging from sport, health and social care, early years, business, catering, plumbing, electrical, travel and tourism, hair and beauty, to name a few. Our teachers are available throughout the virtual open event to explain the details of each course. In most cases, we offer different levels of courses ranging from Level 1, Level 2 and Level 3, and access to higher education. Virtually all of our students progress onto positive career paths, whether that is university, a job or an apprenticeship. Our timetable is very different to other colleges. The vast majority of our students come into college for 3 days per week. During this time, they work very hard, but they have freedom for part-time jobs, work experience on the other 2 days. This also reduces their travel time into college. We have excellent facilities for all our courses, with specialist workshops and practical areas where needed. If you are interested in a career in football, whether playing or coaching, please look into our football scholarship programme run in conjunction with TNS Football Club, the Welsh Premier League champions. If you have any questions, please take the opportunity to speak to teachers during this event. Staff will be available to discuss transport and finance queries as well. If you have not done so already, it is not too late to apply for next year. This can be done by filling in an application form found on our website. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this event.
Hello, my name is Jill Cawthray and I am the Access Coordinator at North Shropshire College. I'm talking to you about the course today and I'm going to cover the qualification itself, the duration, the course content, entry requirements and progression. So the qualification. Access courses are a stepping stone for students who require a more formal qualification for university. It's a very supportive environment. Many of our learners have not been studying for some years and the Access course is there to provide that bridge. We have diplomas in health professionals, science and social science and humanities. And for most students, they will be progressing to university in one of these subjects. So for the duration of the course, it's a 1-year course and it is taught over 3 days. So there are 3 days from 9 till 3:15 each day. And in reality, it's only a 9-month course. We finish in June. And so it's quite an intensive course and we do expect students to work outside of college hours as well on their assignments. There is no end of year exams and it is an assignment based course. Course content. This varies between the diplomas, but we study subjects such as biology. We would be looking at the biology of the cell. In health studies, we'd look at the history of the NHS. So we have a range of interesting topics and you would be completing an assignment which could vary from an essay, a report, presentation and a group work project. On the social science and humanities, we also have English and history modules, and in the science you would also be able to do chemistry, environmental science and forensic science. So our entry requirements. We usually expect students to have a GCSE profile. Some students do have level 3 study qualifications as well. If you do not have your maths or English GCSE, there is a chance to study for one of those alongside the Access course. And as for progression, so students are progressing to degrees in nursing, midwifery, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and also into single science degrees such as we've had students go on to study history, students go on to psychology, environmental sciences. You know, the course is a very broad course to enable you to progress to your chosen degree. Thank you very much for listening. I believe you can submit questions through our open day, our virtual open day, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Hello, my name is Charlotte Williams. I am the course leader for Creative Digital Media Production, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that course and a little bit about the art and design course. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the course entails, so what kind of things we cover, how the course is structured, some of the things you might want to know coming in, anything you might need to bring and stuff like that, and tell you about how your 2 years with us would go, whether you want to do creative digital media production or whether you were thinking of doing art and design. So both subjects are quite similar in the sense that they are majority creative, hands-on subjects. There is less of a focus on sort of sit-down classroom theory lessons, although they do obviously play a little part in what we do. But most of what you would be doing over the 2 years that you're with us would be hands-on creative work, making things, creating products, doing films, photography, this, that, and the other. So there is a less of a listen to me talking all day kind of element, and more of a you actually exploring the industry as yourself and doing a lot of independent design work and creative work. The best way to learn in a lot of these industries, especially in media, which requires sort of understanding lots of different areas, lots of different techniques and equipment and stuff, is that sort of independent doing and making things yourself. And that's what we tend to do, and that's what our focus is mostly on. So as for the units that we have done in the past, we've done things such as filmmaking, both documentary filmmaking and short filmmaking. We've done photography, game design, web design, graphic design, bits of animation, sort of stop motion, computer and hand-drawn animation. So we've a bit of advertisement production. So we've jumped into lots and lots of different areas. And the same with the art and design. You know, throughout the years we've done photography as sort of our main staple, really, because we have two photography tutors on that course. But then we have jumped into things like textiles before. We've done some 3D modelling work. We've done fine art. So we try lots and lots of different areas. We try lots and lots of different techniques and stuff. And the idea being that by the time you finish the sort of 2 years that you're with us, you would have an idea of what you would like to do sort of going forward, whether that be studying one of these at university, or perhaps getting an internship at a company, and getting a broader idea of not only the subject that you enjoy, but how the whole industries, so both the art and design side of things and the major side of things, how they operate and things like that. There are some changes coming up in the new year. So in the past, there have been some examined units in previous years. So the last 2 years, they've had to do some exams on representation in the media, and then some sort of assessed units that are externally assessed by the exam board. However, that is changing in the new year. We are going to be focusing more on the individual journey of you as either an artist or someone who wants to work in the media industry. Unlike before, where we would have, say, 6 or 7 set units over a space of a year, where we would cover one topic on one term, another topic in another term, that would be set sort of as the year rolls on, and we would do some little changes here and there with a focus on those exam units. From next year, there is a focus on that individual experience. So what we'll be doing is you'll be focusing on essentially 2 units per year. That doesn't mean that there's less work involved. In fact, I think there's going to be a lot more hands-on creative work as a part of this. So for the first 2 terms of your first year, you would be focusing more on the experimental side of things. So you'll be chopping and changing, dipping in and out of these courses, dipping out of these units, like sort of mediums, a lot quicker. So 1 week we'll be doing filmmaking for maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, doing small projects, and then we can move on to these other areas as well. It's more about creating a portfolio of work, a portfolio of your entire understanding of both art and design or creative digital media. Both courses are going down that same route. So where you might be doing filmmaking in creative media, if you're doing an art design course, 1 week you'll do photography, and then you might jump onto something else as that term goes on. And you'll be keeping a portfolio of your experience, you'll be showing your development throughout that. So for the last term then, in that first year, you would then do a larger project on something that is more suitable, or something that you would enjoy doing, using the sort of skills and that you've picked up during the last sort of 6 or so months before that. So they'll be given a topic or a broader idea, and then you would take some of the things that you would really enjoy, so maybe it would be film or photography or art or design or animation, whatever it is that we've done throughout that year, and then we would focus on that then as an individual project, sort of like a final sort of project for that first year. So you got sort of 6 to 7 there are 2 terms worth of experimentation, development, and then you take all that stuff you've learned and you bring that into a major project at the end of that first year. As for any specific materials or equipment you want to have or need to have coming into the course, most if not all of it is covered by the college. So on cameras, tripods, sound equipment, editing stuff is provided by us. What I suggest is, if you were doing creative digital media, that you get a memory stick and a memory card for cameras with high amount of storage on it, so you can keep your own work safe. And if you're on the art design course, I would suggest getting some basic art supplies, but you don't need anything too major coming into the course. There is a materials fee that we ask students to pay at the start of the year, and that covers anything such as trips or any bits and pieces we actually need throughout the year. For example, we've used it for getting buses if you need to go on any trips. For example, we're going on in September, we're supposed to be going to the photography show in Birmingham, depending on what's happening with lockdown and stuff. And then things like we go to Wrexham, to the university, to the TV studio there. So we try and use that to take you out into the world and do lots of interesting things relating to media or creative arts and stuff like that. Anything that's not spent is usually refunded at the end of the year. But other than that, that's kind of all you need. You don't need to have any specific equipment yourself. If you want to have that stuff and you want to bring that in, that is perfectly fine. That is okay, you can do that. We have some students who have their own equipment and bring it in and use that. But you don't really have to. In terms of where you'll actually be doing your studying, we have 3 sort of rooms for art and media that we sort of chop and change and jump between. We have one room that is a dedicated editing space, like a media room, where we do a lot of the media theory lessons and some of the editing on Photoshop and Premiere and stuff. We have a fully licensed Adobe suite of up to 25 computers in that room, so that's quite nice. It's quite a nice little open area where you can just sort of work in your own little groups or around a big table in the middle and stuff, which is really nice. We have another photography room downstairs, which is again another sort of editing suite, and that's focused for more the photography and the art and design side of things, where you can do lessons in there, do some editing and stuff. Again, we have the licenses for Adobe products down there. And then we also have a large open sort of art and design room, more of a room we can set up different things. So for example, we've set up photography shoots in there, green screen stuff, we've set up a TV production studio there in the past. It's kind of an open space where you can, depending on what it is you actually want to do, we can set that space up and do lots of different and interesting things. It's quite a nice, light, open area. So that's about it, really. Those are sort of the main points. Whether you're doing interest in media or interest in the art and design side, they're very similar in the terms of setup and the way they ran. They're a lot more focused, again, as I said, on that individual student journey, with that independent learning and sort of understanding how the industries work. We look at things, as I said, such as film, animation, photography, game design, web design, and then the art and design side of things we've looked at in the past, textiles, fine arts. As I said, we chop and change. No need for any specific equipment coming in. If you want to, that's fine, other than having a memory stick, a memory card, or some basic art supplies. And obviously there is that fee as well that you would want to consider. In terms of time frame, you would do it over the space of 2 years. So it's 2 years, we call it full time. It's over the space of 3 days. So we do 3 full intense days with us. That works quite well. So it gives you 2 extra days there if you want to do anything outside of college, or any filmmaking you want to do outside, or any sort of jobs or any work you need to do. As for requirements coming into the course, we usually ask for 5 GCSEs, A to C, or whatever the grading system is now in England, the numbered system. So around about the A to C grade. We do like to see, hopefully, if you've got art and design or major sort of stuff in school, if you've got any portfolio work and stuff you want to show us, then that is fine. We don't specifically require you to have any of those two subjects coming in. So if you're a complete newbie to this, if you've never touched a camera before, if you've never had a chance to do any art related stuff before, that does not matter. As long as you show a willingness to learn and a willingness to try these different things, then that is the main thing. We do ask for the maths and English if possible. Now, for any reason you don't get the one, so for example, if you get your maths but not your English, or vice versa, you can resit that exam in college. We don't usually, within specific reasons, we usually don't let students onto the level 3 if they need to do both maths and English. It is a very intense, very hands-on course. We like to treat it as a full-time job, essentially, so we wouldn't want you to have that extra pressure of 2 other examined class units to do. If that is the case, there are other options. For example, doing a level 2, there'd be more deals to follow on that. So that's about it, really. If there's any more information, you can email me. My email address on the bottom of the screen there for you to contact me with any information or anything you need to know specifically. And I hope to see you in September.
Hi, my name's Ian Fox and I teach on the BTEC Art and Design course at Oswestry. I focus on the photography elements of the course, and that's primarily digital photography. On the course you will study a different range of photography, photographers and digital language, and the way that photography communicates with its audience. We will study and you will create work looking at location photography. Check out the work of someone like Ansel Adams and his landscape photography, and you could be following in his footsteps. We'll also be looking at and creating work in the studio. You will learn how to use lights to create atmosphere and depth and texture in the studio, and be recreating famous photographers' work such as Annie Leibovitz. We'll also be looking at experimental photography, using different software such as Lightroom and Photoshop to enhance your images and to create meaning with your work. Much of your work will be presented on websites. You will create online portfolios of your work, which will document the process that you went through to create the images that you've taken. Finally, the photography units that you will study may even branch out into moving image and possibly documentary filmmaking as a way to use images to create messages and to create meaning and to document a range of different themes and issues that are important to you.
You can choose to study one A-level alongside your main qualification. For example, if you are studying health and social care, you may also want to take an A-level in biology or psychology. Animal care students may also want to study biology or environmental sciences. Students have many reasons for wanting to take an A-level. An A-level may develop your research and analytical skills alongside your vocational skills. It might also make your UCAS application or job application stand out. I enjoy teaching the environmental science A-level, where topics such as climate change and pollution are incredibly topical and relevant today. An A-level in environmental science might fit with students who are thinking of going on into degrees in wildlife, conservation, or there are many degrees in environmental sciences and combination degrees. I hope you found this short presentation useful. Thank you for listening, and please do send in any questions about additional A-levels. Thank you.
Okay, so hopefully that's helped to explain the different courses on offer and what each course entails. As I say, we have the tutors on hand to answer any questions that you may have. I can see a few questions are coming in already. Jill, if I can bring you on first just to talk about the access to HE, got a few questions around that. So first question that's come through, someone said, can I get any funding for my course fees?
Yes, you can. Yes, if you do need to pay for your course fees, which not all students do, but if that is the case, then you can get an advanced learner loan, and that will cover the full amount of your course fees. And the good thing about Access is that if you finish your Access course successfully and you go on to higher education, that is cancelled. That fee is cancelled.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Someone's said, I'm worried about coming back into study after a long break. Will I get help and support on this course?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we really want to support you on the Access course, and you'll find that the majority of the students have also spent some time outside of education. So one of the big sources of help is the group itself. So you find a very supportive environment with other students working together. But also, your teachers really try to introduce you to each of the topics, to develop study skills. And we'll also help you with additional tasks like completing your UCAS application. So, for most of our students who've finished, they've just found that this has been a really useful stepping stone to higher education.
Brilliant, thank you. Someone's asked, what can I do to help myself get prepared for the course?
Well, yeah, that's a really good question, because it is a very intensive course. So at this time, it would be a really good idea to make sure you know what sort of degree you want to go on to do. And you might look at virtual open days at the universities to help with this. You can also just think through your weekly routine and make sure that you've got some time set aside when you can study on your own, because there is some independent study required. Many Access students do have young children as well. So it's perhaps thinking about, when you're going to fit in that work, perhaps in the evening when the children have gone to bed, and just sort of planning for that exciting but intensive step next year.
Okay, thank you. And then someone said, when do I apply for UCAS?
Yeah, now UCAS, we will be, so you'll be applying to us, you'll be starting with us, in September, but immediately you will be applying through UCAS, and we like to get our applications in by the middle of October. And this gives you the best chance to be interviewed for your course and to know what you have to get in your grades. So as you start with us, that's why we want you to be prepared and to be ready to start that UCAS. But you will get help and time in college to get that completed.
Okay, thank you. I've got quite a general question here, so I'll ask you first, Jill, and then I'll move on to Charlotte afterwards. Someone's just asked, what things have students gone on to do after the course? Okay,
yeah, so well, for the Access course, it's really everybody is going on to university, because that is what they've chosen to do this route for. The majority of our students go on to nursing, but we do have students go on to midwifery, paramedicine, occupational therapy, social work. They're our main ones, and then we also get individual students going on to history degrees, radio therapy, radiography, and also English literature and so on. So there's quite a broad range of options with the Access course.
That's great, thank you. Charlotte, same question if I may.
So yeah, same really as the Access. A lot of our students do go on to university, and we've had people that go and do things like filmmaking, university, animation. We've had people go and do robotics in the past as well. So there's quite a diverse range of different areas that people go down. And we do have some students then who, after that sort of time with us and then in university, have gone on to do internships with companies, or have gone on to work sort of full time in media companies such as the BBC and stuff like that. And we do have some students as well that go freelance as well, so they take on that sort of responsibility themselves, and then they go out and they find that work, and they kind of become self-employed within the industry. So there are lots of different areas that people usually go into after the time with us.
Brilliant, yeah. Just while you're there, I've got a couple of other questions. Again, they're generally quite vague, but I'll ask them to you first. Someone said, is there a way onto the course if I don't meet the entry requirements?
If you don't meet the entry requirements, what we usually say then is you do sort of year on a level 2 course. I think we've got more details about what level 2s we're running sort of coming sort of towards the end of this year now, the start of September. What we usually say is you do that year as kind of a springboard into that level 3. So if you really sort of 100% you want to do a level 3, but you haven't quite got those qualifications yet, we will be offering those sort of level 2 courses. You do a year in that. Hopefully you might get your maths and English there if you haven't got them, and then you get that sort of confidence and you get the used to the college environment, and that sort of springboards you then into the more intensive level 3 course.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Someone's also asked, are there any trips involved in the course?
Yes, we've got a couple of trips. We try and organise a couple as much as we can in a year. The original plan was to do one sort of around April time to go to the photography show, but obviously with lockdown and stuff that hasn't happened. But they're moving that to September, October time. So hopefully if things back up and running, we'll be going to a sort of a trade convention in Birmingham with the art department as well. We'll be going to look at filmmaking and photography and stuff. And then we also try and go to Glyndŵr University once a year as well to have a go at their, to get an experience of the university life and use some of their equipment and stuff. And we try and get some cinema trips and stuff in there as well as much as possible. So we try and get people out.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Ian, got a couple of photography related questions, if I may.
Yeah, sure thing.
So someone said, do I need to purchase any specialist equipment for the photography units?
I think the short answer is no, really. I mean, to reiterate what Charlotte said, we do have a large number of digital SLR cameras, which the students use for still photography, for filmmaking, and those can be hired out. Those can be taken home over weekends, over holiday periods as well. So in terms of that kind of equipment, no. The students also have access to the software in college. So really the only real equipment that they need is what Charlotte mentions, things like storage, digital storage facilities, so USB drives, SD cards, hard drives, all those kind of things, which come in really handy when you're creating a vast amount of digital material. And I think one of the most important things that students have is their phone. They use their phones for all kinds of things in art and design these days. They can use their phone for taking pictures. They can use their phones for making films. So they already have really advanced equipment in their pocket right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I forget who it was that said it, but someone once said, and the best camera you've got is the one that you've got with you at the time. Something like
Exactly.
on those lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question. I've never studied or really done photography before. Will this be a problem on this course?
Again, the short answer is no. Very few schools teach GCSE photography. So most students who are coming to do a level 3 in photography have only ever maybe done it as, a hobby, to keep their Instagram account up to date and those kind of things. But just doing those things demonstrates an interest in photography. An interest in digital manipulation of photography. So as long as they're interested in doing those kind of things, and maybe they already do using their phone, then you've got the interest to take that further, to take that to a level 3 course.
Brilliant, thank you. Jill, if I come back to you in regards to some A-level questions. First one I've got is, can I take an A-level at Oswestry, even though my course is in Walford?
Yes, yeah, that we will have the A-levels. They will be taught out of the Oswestry campus, but they're going to be in a block of time. So, if you were studying, say, animal care or agriculture at Walford, you would be able to come across to Oswestry. There would be transport for you to do the A-level. So, yes, that's absolutely fine. So you could pick an A-level that fits with your main programme course, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Just one of those combinations, actually. Someone said, I've heard zoology degrees are hard to get into. Will it help to take an A-level with my animal care course?
Yeah, now that's a really good question, because there are some degrees that really are very competitive, and zoology, they've said is one of those. So yes, an A level, whilst our level 3 courses are sufficient for university, if you were to do an A level as well, it might just make you stand out against probably hundreds of other students that might be applying for something like zoology. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And then someone's just asked about how many lessons a week will I have for my A level?
Okay, so the A levels are going to be 3 hours of lessons a week over 2 years. So it would be over the whole 2 years. And so, that will be in a block of time, which allows it to mix with the other courses, so that you can come from Walford or be based in Oswestry. But it obviously will require study outside, by independent study as well.
Okay. No, someone's asked in general about course requirements and that sort of thing. So is there course requirements for these A levels? Do you need to have a certain level to be able to do an A level alongside?
So usually if you've met the requirements for the level 3 course, so that is your 5 GCSEs at grade C or 4 or above, then that would be suitable for the A level. There are 1 or 2 A levels where we might be particularly looking at the GCSE result in that subject area, just to make sure that you are, suitably prepared for, quite a challenging A level course. So for example, for psychology, it's a good idea to have a good level of maths, and the same for biology as well. So yes, it's really just being properly prepared, but we would be happy to talk through with students about their previous qualifications to make sure that they are suitable.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Jill. So I think that's all the questions we've had there. So we'll wrap things up there. Thank you very much for your questions and for getting in touch. This session is being recorded, so it'll be on the college YouTube account shortly afterwards, so you can look back and review anything that you might have missed the first time round. If you're watching that recording now and think, oh, they didn't ask the question that I wanted to be asked, not a problem. You can contact us through the college website or through our social media channels, and you can ask that question. We can direct that to the relevant tutor, and we'll get an answer back to you. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching.